want to take a minute and talk about a couple theological issues that I think the church is having today, and why it is we are wholly ineffective as a church and as a society of believers. Number one, the second commandment talks about not making a graven image. And by and large, we don't have that problem in the United States. Most Western societies, we don't have that. Even when I went overseas, I didn't see anybody worshiping any carved out statues, or I know that there's some places that they do it, but I didn't see it where I went. But what we have to look at is the reason why we're not to make any graven images. And I think the best example of that is a analogy that J.D. Greer talked about one time in a sermon. He was talking about how a guy comes up to you, an author walks up to you and says, "Hey, I want to write an autobiography about your life." And you're like, "That's great, I'm flattered." So you proceed to start telling him your life, and he's jotting down notes. Before long, the guy's like, "Okay, I got what I need." When the book comes out, autobiography of you, only you're 6'2". You've got one leg and 3 arms. You're really angry all the time. You drink a lot. All these things that are completely... Yeah, I'm in the country. Completely fictional. Not accurate. They don't accurately portray you. But the author says it'll make you look more interesting. It'll sell more books. People will buy that book to see a 3-armed, 1-legged guy. So how do you feel about that? How do you feel about somebody taking an autobiography about your life and rewriting it to fit their view of what you are, not what you really are? That's what it's like making a graven image of God. Any image that we come up with, whether it be a statue, a picture, whatever, it could not possibly do justice to God. It could not accurately portray Him. Nothing that we come up with, the largest, the most loving, the most kind, the strongest, anything that we can possibly imagine, it's only going to be the limit of your imagination. And because it's your imagination, it's going to come out looking an awful lot like you. So, any image that we come up with is actually an insult to God, because it's always going to be less than what He is. That's number one. And I say that because, not that we are creating images, but that we use church terminology like Jesus and salvation and forgiveness. We use that terminology. We just rewrite the definitions. We have a Jesus that, is sitting on the wall like a wallflower, just begging you to come to Him. It's not a Jesus of the Bible. It's not the Jesus that flipped over tables. I honestly can't think of one place in the Bible where Jesus sat down and begged anybody to come to Him. Jesus went out and He told the truth. And those who heard and believed, they followed Him because they respected the truth. But more importantly, because Jesus called them.